Hey guys, I'm Sean.
And I'm Josh.
In this video, we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of living in Evergreen, Colorado. Evergreen is a hot spot for people that are looking to work remotely, get out of the city that they're in, especially since Corona and the market been popping off. So if you're thinking about making a move, this is the video for you. We're going to be talking about lifestyle,
wildlife,
transportation,
weather.
Yeah, just basically the things that are freaking awesome about it and the things that suck. There's not too much stuff.
It's perfect.
But there's some, yeah. Josh has lived here pretty much his whole life.
Yeah, 27 years, born and raised, so I can talk all the points you want to know about raising a kid up here too. It's a great place to live.
And at the end of the video, stay tuned because we're going to talk about the best resource if you want to continue your education and learn how you can find the perfect spot for you in Evergreen area. So stay tuned for that. Cool, so let's talk. The first pro is
seclusion.
Tell them about it.
If you live up here in Evergreen, you can have the availability to be secluded from your neighbors. You have your own little oasis in the mountains, but you also get the option to have neighbors if you want to go hang out with them.
And I think too, looking at houses out here, if you look at like the aerial view, here it looks like there's a house there, it looks like a house right there. We're on like a hill right now, and so even though there are neighbors kind of around us here, you don't see them. And if you want to live that hermit lifestyle, which I'm going to say that's a con, if you're like an introverted extrovert like me, if I am given the opportunity to be by myself all the time, I like me.
Yeah.
I might just hang out with myself.
You got your house, you got everything you want, you might just want to hang out at your own home.
Right. So I'd say that's a con if you're like me and you know that about yourself, that if you aren't around people, you're just going to turn into a big bearded mountain man. Don't live that lifestyle.
But you can if you want.
Unless you want.
But if you want.
Unless you want. Okay, so talking about the area too, secluded, there are some furry friends out here though.
Yeah, there sure are. Yeah, a lot of big game up here. So you're looking at elk, deer, then we go into predators. You're also looking at mountain lions, bears, some fox, coyotes.
What do you see the most of? Because we say like mountain lions. I've been here 14 years. I haven't seen a mountain lion yet. I don't really want to.
Daily through springtime all the way till the first shot in September for hunting, you're gonna have elk in your yard. Deer for sure. You probably hit a deer almost just coming up here. Predators you'll see, I mean, occasionally, I would say once a year, I get a good glance at a nice big old bear. Mountain lions, like Sean said, they're here. You don't see them that much, but they're nocturnal cats. They like to hunt at night, so you're hopefully not going to see them, but they're around. If you like that aspect, living in nature, Evergreen is nature for you.
Another thing just with nature is you got to pack up the trash really well, or animals could get into it. Animals also like to eat trash, gardens. A lot of people, if they have dogs, they'll have a fenced-in area with a somewhat high fence to try to help out as much as possible to have their animals, but you always want to keep an eye on your critters. Okay, let's talk about climate, because a lot of people from Texas, a lot of Californians, Florida too, come out here.
Flat sea level, flatlanders.
Tell them weather, because everyone's like, how bad is the snow?
The snow here is, I would say it's definitely season dependent, but it's going to snow from November to, May. You're gonna have a snowstorm, but most of the time when it snows here, it's a nice good dump of snow, and then sun's out the next day. It's probably melting off. Summertimes are beautiful. On average, summertime, the highest peak and you're looking at is probably 87. There might be maybe
87 is a very specific number,
because that's where it kind of peaks out at.
All right.
You're not looking higher than that on average.
Getting the facts from
Yeah,
Josh
27 years. It's gonna be nice. Wintertime, you're probably looking mid 30s to 40s, but the sun's out. So you put on a jacket, you're still enjoying that day.
I think that's the one thing that people underestimate is how much that sun will change the whole day. The cold isn't like biting like it is like in the northeast.
And that's just because of our, it's a dry climate. So, if you think about Evergreen, it's like this beautiful forest. It's actually a montane desert. So it's very deserty out here. It is not humid, it's dry, and cold days are not East Coast cold. You're like, oh, just put on a jacket, I'm good to go.
Yeah, bonus fact, hot bathtubs are super popular out here because just a nice chilly night. Just go out, clear skies, super nice skies up here. You don't get a lot of the light pollution that you do from the city. Just chill, hang out. No less bugs. It's like mosquitoes. We have a lot of mosquitoes because of that dry, arid climate. That's another thing that you probably don't even realize.
How little bugs?
Yeah, all the bugs.
Very little bugs. Wonderful place to have a mild climate throughout any time of the year.
If you got to boogie it out of there. One of the negatives of the high, arid, dry climate is that we are susceptible to wildfires, which are becoming more prevalent, and so that's just something to be aware of. People try to be super cautious. Colorado, I think the county and the state does a good job. They've had some fire bans to help protect homeowners, but just still something that's in the back of your head.
And the nice thing about it is when you move up here into Evergreen, the county has great fire mitigation plans. So if you're willing to go around and chop off the little limbs that are dead on your tree, the county sets up slash days throughout the year so you can go deliver all of your old slash out there for free, and the county will take care of it for you. So they really push for you to do that fire mitigation on your own land. Just in Evergreen alone, we have plow lots. So the trucks are running as soon as that snow is even getting called for. The trucks are out. Really well maintained roads here throughout all conditions. And then, great just county incentives to take care of your property because they want you to gain that equity.
Once you can hit a main county road, you're usually in pretty good shape. A good job clearing them. They are still windy roads, right?
Yeah, so if you're a little skeptical on driving, just watch out for your conditions because most of the roads up here are they're windy little roads going all the way through. So until you get to the main corridors, the average speed limit's 40 miles an hour. You just got to take it nice and easy. But just with that, you be aware of how that road faced to that sunlight. There's going to be big open spots on the road that are nice and clear, and right around the corner, it's a big sheet of ice. So just take it easy.
It's actually it's a beautiful area to drive, and part of what makes it dangerous though is because there is so much beauty around you. It's super easy for your eyes to stray off the road and check out the views. But it can be hazardous for sure. And a lot of times for me, 40 miles is like max I'm going anyways because some of those turns are making me keep it around 30, 35. Word. I think we beat that one up. All right, so we talked about the terrain, we talked about the climate. Let's talk about that lifestyle. You go first.
All right, so growing up here my whole life, Evergreen has everything you could possibly want for an active lifestyle. Probably within 1 mile of anybody's house here is a trailhead. So you can go hiking. There's fantastic rock climbing here. Evergreen Lake, paddle boarding. People are out there canoeing, kayaking, love to fish. Great fishing spots real close by. From Evergreen, you're within an hour and a half to the furthest ski resort. Winter and summer, there's always something to do here.
Yeah, and even though these are windy kind of mountain roads, you still see everybody out there walking on the roads, walking their pets, road biking, want to stay fit during the winter. And so a lot of my clients that move here from out of state, they say I naturally I just dropped 20 pounds as soon as I moved up there, just because you're constantly doing stuff. And we have so much sunshine that it's always drawing you outdoors. You want to go do stuff. Maxwell Falls is a good one.
Right behind us there.
Yeah. Three Sisters, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is that Myers Ranch? That's Conifer right off
Conifer.
285.
Flying J Ranch right on the end there too.
Elk Meadow.
Elk Meadow's
beautiful. And it's an easier trail too. So you have all different levels of trails as well.
Yeah. And most trails here also allow horses. So if that's something that you're also into, you could trail ride your horse right here out of your own property.
Yes, you get the picture. You can do freaking everything.
Anything you want to do.
Anything you want to do.
Anything you want to do.
And especially if you live up here and you have a big piece of property, you get to do whatever the hell you want to do because there ain't no law on your land. Well, maybe that's not true, but
Some have HOAs.
Right.
Very little.
I think that's one thing to call out is like limited HOAs, right?
Yeah.
And in a lot of like custom builds, because you are oftentimes building a house that can fit the terrain that it's on. Now, you mentioned, there are some builders that bought a little section and they put up a few residents and they might have an HOA, but it's not like a typical HOA where they're saying like you can't paint your house a certain color, right? Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the high ones.
High ones,
maybe by the golf course.
You're right.
Just by the golf course is the only one that would be a little persnickety about it, but everyone else,
Persnickety.
I know, word choice, boom.
But for the most part, nobody messes with you.
No.
Mhm.
And the HOA that it's going to be there is pretty much just like, yeah, we're going to do a community / clear out, just to fire mitigator land. Do you guys want to do that with us?
Mhm.
But it's all optional, volunteer.
And sometimes you'll see an HOA and it's like $50 or something like that. And that's usually road maintenance and trash, stuff like that. Cool. I think we did good on that.
Yeah, so here in Evergreen, also just there's so much community outreach. Everyone's trying to get together and make that fun lifestyle for everyone to enjoy. So here in Evergreen, throughout the entire year, there's always something to do. There's, parades, festivals being thrown on. We have the rodeo right here. They have the polar plunge in the winter time. So all the companies come together. We drill a hole out in the lake. We all jump in as a great donation out to whatever fundraiser they're doing that year. But we always trying to do something.
And then you have more by Highway 70, which is more like commercial. You have like your Starbucks, Home Depot, Walmart, things like that.
Yeah, but that old mom and pop stretch, that beautiful old town Evergreen, it's the place to be. It is always jumping.
Murphy's Bar and Grill and
Cactus Jack's.
Was there fried oysters?
Yeah, fried oysters here in Evergreen.
Those were fire.
They were good.
And like the big draw, I think now why Evergreen's appreciated, I think over 20% from last year to this, over through the coronavirus, is because now that so many people are able to work remotely. And so Evergreen is a perfect spot to work remotely, especially if you only have to go in downtown maybe once, twice a week. Sweet, that's awesome. Or if you're like a software engineer or a programmer or something like that, you'll get a sweet spot in the mountains. Just need to be careful of the internet.
Speeds vary.
Right. Yeah, like in my grandma's house in Ohio, it's still it's like
dial up.
It was dial up and then they throttle you.
Oh, yeah.
And so like if you try to stream too many videos, like all of a sudden you can't even get that. I don't think they have it like that so much. It's just more hard getting faster speeds too, correct?
Yeah, and I mean, there are options out here, but it still is, it's still terrain dependent. So just be aware of that for looking at, I want to work completely remotely from your home. Just, we always recommend, let's talk to the previous owner and see what internet they had to make sure that jives with what you need.
That's always something during the inspection period that we really want to dial in, make sure you're getting enough speed.
If you are working fully remotely, wonderful place to live. It's still not even that bad. From most people in Evergreen, you're about a 30-minute drive to downtown Denver. Just be aware of that when you're kind of thinking about how often am I going to be going on the main road. It's not actually going to be that bad. And most times you're not even hitting traffic that heavily up I-70.
A con. Let's hit them with a con. It's freaking expensive.
It's expensive.
It ain't cheap. More expensive than Denver. And that's what people typically ask. Is it less expensive in the mountains? Maybe some areas, but typically if you're like within an hour drive of the city, that's kind of like that hot spot for home prices because people still want to be able to travel to the city every now and then. And so, like I mentioned, prices have gone up about 20% from last year to this year, right around $800,000.
Yeah, that's our average price up here in Evergreen, $800,000.
Right. So it's competitive, it's expensive, it's freaking awesome, and it's worth it. But just, the secret's kind of out on Evergreen now.
Yeah. Secret's out, but just outside of Evergreen, because it has that stamped name, you could still have that same lifestyle. We have more videos for you.
It might be a good fit, a little less expensive, and still give you everything that you're looking for. Here's a couple straggling. Pro would be a low maintenance yard.
Low maintenance yard.
A lot of people, they'll just have maybe a lawn that they cut for dogs or for children to play. Another random one, and this one's coming from me personally, because this is why I don't live in Evergreen right now, because I'm single. But Evergreen's not, he's wifed up, great wife, kids, so he's like ready for Evergreen, well prepared. But for, I think, the daters out there, Evergreen might not be the best place. Like a whole lot of places to go. There are bars, there's like the downtown area, but as far as like a scene and like Ubers and things like that to help get around and go out on the town, it's not as welcoming as Denver is.
Yes.
But I will say, girls that live in Evergreen are pretty freaking rad typically.
Yeah, that's how I met my wife.
I agree. And here's a random, maybe not a con, but it's just the way it is in Evergreen, Jefferson County. So you can't just plop a tiny home on a piece of property or put a trailer up there and say, hey, we plan to build down the road. I love the idea, but the county won't let you essentially squat, is what they consider that, squatting on a piece of land. So we get that question and we inform people of the cost of doing that with just excavating your driveway, putting in the well, septic, running power lines to your property.
If you want natural gas.
There's a lot that goes into improving a piece of land so that it's inhabitable. And oftentimes when we have that conversation, people are usually like, you know what, maybe I'm not quite ready for that, and I'm going to go buy something existing, which I think is a good idea typically, because then you have access to more resources, roads. It's maybe not as crazy and wily of a living situation. You can get a feel for how much of that mountain lifestyle you want. You could have it kind of pedestrian where you're in like high one and you got HOAs, things like that, where you can be way up there. All right, we told you at the beginning we had an awesome resource for you if you're looking to find more information on which Evergreen lifestyle is the best fit for you, and that is us. Moxie.
Us.
So we're a real estate team here up in the greater Denver metro area in Foothills, and we love helping you find the perfect neighborhood, the perfect house for your situation, your goals. So give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, squirrel by fence, whatever is convenient for you. We'll jump on the phone, jump on a Zoom meeting, and happy to help you out. We also have all kinds of other videos because we make videos like this all the time. So we have like 8 things to know about moving to the mountains. We have a video specifically on living in Evergreen. So go ahead, check those out. And if you have a Evergreen specific question, that's what the comment section is for. So fill it up. We do read those and we will get back to you. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Welcome to Evergreen.
All right, see ya.